Okay, good afternoon, everybody, to the City Council Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, successor agency, Calexico Financing Authority adjourned meeting from November 27, 2012, 6:30 p.m., which is now 6:35, here at the Fernando Nene Torres Council Chambers. Before I go forward, I'm going to transfer the chair of this meeting to Mayor Pro Tem Hurtado.
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome, everyone. To begin, we'll have the closed session report from Ms. Lyons.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Council met in closed session and discussed items A through D on the agenda. Direction was given, no reportable action was taken. Item E from closed session was removed from the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Please note, Deputy City Clerk, the attendants all are here today. We'll start off this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Mr. David Uzan, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. Please stand up. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, need an approval of the agenda, please? Okay, before we have an approval of the agenda, Ms. Lyons, would we need to remove any of the items?
I believe there's been a request to remove item 7 from the agenda.
Item number 7.
Motion to approve agenda.
Item number 7 under business items.
Removing item 7.
Yes.
Second.
Okay, we have a first from Mr. Moreno, a second from Mr. Hodge. Please vote. Okay, just wanted to make sure that we understood that item number 7 has been removed from today's meeting. We will move on with the remaining amount of items on the agenda. Ms. Lyons, also, I do have several items that are from the public to comment on item number 7. Would it be still necessary to?
It's up to them. If they wanted to speak on during their 3 minutes of public comment, they could make comments. If not, they could come back, or that item won't be heard tonight. So if it's on a future agenda, they could come back and discuss it at that point.
Okay, so I will, when we get to that point, I will ask that question, and if you do want to go ahead and speak, you may, and if not, then we can go ahead and save that item for when we do have that in the future. Just to make sure, Jose Luis Harat gave a slip here to speak, and it's not completed. I don't know what item it's for. Presentations are first. Okay, so if you want to come back and correct this. Okay, we're going to start off with presentations. First of all, there's a proclamation of the 33rd Annual Farm Worker Appreciation Breakfast. And I need Kathy Vizcarra. Is she here? I'm going to go down there and I'll read it.
I'll read it from the corner. Please go there.
Okay. City of Calexico Proclamation, Farm Worker Appreciation Week, December 2nd, 2012 to December 8th, 2012. Whereas agriculture has traditionally been the backbone of the economy of the Imperial Valley, and whereas Imperial Valley farm workers have tilled the soil, sowed the seed, and harvested the crops of this rich agricultural area, and whereas these workers and the agricultural industry have provided food in abundance for the people in cities throughout the nation of the world, and have thus contributed greatly to the economy of Calexico and the Imperial Valley, and whereas the Calexico City Council believes in the dignity of tilling the soil and ending the crops. And whereas the City Council of the City of Calexico recognizes the agriculture will continue to play a strong role in our community's economy, and now therefore be it resolved that the Calexico City Council does hereby program the week of December 2nd, 2012 to December 8th, 2012 as Farm Worker Appreciation Week. In witness whereof, I hereunto affix my signature and official seal of the City of Calexico on the 27th day of November, 2012. Mayor Daniel Romero.
just wanted to thank the City of Calexico and the Calexico City Council for doing the Farm Workers of Imperial Valley this great honor by proclaiming the first week of December as Farm Worker Appreciation Week. I do have some flyers here. It is on December 7th at 2 a.m. So the entire public, of course, is invited to attend and to volunteer if you'd like. You can contact me at the Employment Development Department. I have a couple of programs here, and it gives us great honor to ask Mayor Romero to do the opening remarks for the Farm Worker Appreciation Breakfast. So I would really appreciate if you would consider doing that. And I'll just leave them here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Vizcarra. If I may, Mayor Pro Tem, at that time, there will be another mayor in place, so we'll make sure that that mayor is present.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
And I'll be there as well anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we're on to presentations for the participants of the first annual Calexico Talent Extravaganza. We have several certificates here, and hopefully the recipients of these are here today. So when we call your name, just come on up, and we'll give you your certificate and take some pictures. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read it once to save some time, and then from there we'll go ahead and name each recipient. City of Calexico congratulates Saida Aras. The City Council thanks you for your participation in Calexico's Talent Extravaganza 2012, benefiting the Kids and Badges program. Your outstanding performance was greatly enjoyed and will encourage others to participate in next year's fundraiser. We thank you for using your tremendous talent to promote fundraising efforts that benefit our community. Mayor Daniel Romero. Is Saida here?
No.
No? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call one at a time. Juliana Fimbres. Juan Gonzalez. Natalia Lozano. She's the opera singer, right? This is with Mariachi Acero del Valle, Richie Silva. Edgar Moreno. Monique Peroni. Let's see her. Shesid Torres, Amber Garza, Amber Lara, and the members of Instancia Crítica, which is also several members. So I guess not too many people showed up today, but thank you for showing up. Ms. Peroni, I'm sorry, what's your name?
First one.
That was a great job. It was an excellent event for those of you that were there. It was very impacting to see how much talent we have here in Calexico. So congratulations to you all. I guess we'll have these certificates for those that weren't here today to pick them up at a later date.
Justin Bieber, come forward. Oh, yes. That was a beautiful song.
What's his name? Herman?
Is it there? Young man had a beautiful voice, powerful voice. Best of luck to you. The Adele song, right? Is that correct? Yeah?
Yeah.
That was excellent. Not easy to sing that one.
This one.
We're going to do this next year, right? Good. Excellent.
Here it is. Please.
Congratulations. Excellent.
Congratulations once again. Okay, moving on to our next presentation is a presentation of appreciation, a plaque to Congressman Bob Filner. And I believe we have one of his representatives here, Carmen Sperling. And if I could meet you over here. City of Calexico recognizes Congressman Bob Filner, California District 51, for your dedication, support, and exemplary 20 years of public service as our congressman for the benefit of our citizens through the City of Calexico and local nonprofit organizations, 1992 to 2012. Daniel Romero, Mayor; Maritza Hurtado, Mayor Pro Tem; Bill Hodge, Councilman; John Moreno, Councilman; and Luis Castro, Councilman.
On behalf of the congressman, he just wants to thank the mayor and the city council members, the city of Calexico. He greatly regrets not being able to be here himself to accept this award, but wanted me to convey his sincere appreciation and thanks. Thank you very much, sir.
More so, we'd like to thank Congressman Mayor-elect Bob Filner.
Thank you.
For his total dedication for the city of Calexico, for all his programs that he was able to bring in funds for. We believe that he has been instrumental in the future development of the city of Calexico. So this is our form of appreciation to Mr. Filner.
He greatly appreciates that. Thank you so much. I'll make sure that he receives that message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ask him to come visit us once in a while.
He's too busy now. He's now the mayor.
He can get the weekend off.
He'll do it. He'll do it. First chance he gets, he'll be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move back a little. We had somebody show up for one of her certificates. Tatiana Picone. She here? She's our local opera singer. Oh, no, no, no. She's actually the person who made this happen. I remember you, Tatiana.
Thank you.
Tatiana was the person that helped us in the LA area to get a hold of the, and to get the commitment from the different artists that came.
Why don't you have her say a few words?
Please, please.
She's the Hollywood contact. Is that she's the one?
Mm-hmm. And
She
she's a
gets some,
Calexico bulldog.
Bill, she gets some points off for contracting you to say if, you're.
I used to be an actor, so that's why.
So thank you so much for this. It's such, it's a joy to be able to come back here and give back, however, from my experiences now in my life as a grown-up, as opposed to being a child here and all my experiences that I had, and that Calexico molded both my art, my writing, and me as a person. So it's a great honor to come back here and receive this. And I'm so proud of everybody that was a part of the extravaganza. So much love, and it was like a labor of love, and the talent was amazing. It was just a really great experience. So,
Tatiana, we have some questions for you.
Tatiana, well, I teach drama at the high school, and I think it's important to acknowledge lots of people don't realize some of the talent that's come from the Imperial Valley. What's his name? He's an actor. He was in...
Donald Logue.
Donald Logue. No, not Donald Logue, but Mi Familia.
Kiki Castillo.
His family is here. And Donald Logue, of course, and his mother taught at the high school. Donald Logue is a very good character actor. He's from
yeah, I'm
Imperial
friends with
Valley.
Donald.
And
his mom was my geometry teacher.
yeah, that's right. And I worked with her. So can you're from here, and in what venue or avenue are you in the show business?
I write up until about a month ago, I was writing for children's programming. iCarly ended and Victorious was canceled. So for 5 years, I was lucky enough to work as a writer for Nickelodeon. And now we're currently selling and pitching our own projects with some of the Nickelodeon stars that I've attached to some of my own projects. So that's where I hope to move forward with my own shows. And in fact, one of them is based in a border town. Most of the stories come from things that I experienced here and people that I know.
Very good. Well, we wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tatiana, and good luck. Okay, item D, presentation by Mr. Sanders. he won't be here today, so we won't have that item. Moving on to announcements, public appearance, public comments. Note, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please state your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. If the item you wish to comment on is a closed session or consent item, please comment now. If the item you wish to comment on is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to that item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. Okay, we're going to start off with Mr. Carlos Herrera with an invitation to a presentation.
Good evening, Honorable Council and attendants. I'm Carlos Herrera, Calexico City historian and founder of the Calexico Historical Museum. Tonight, I come to personally invite City Council members for our next presentation, which will be this coming Saturday. I gave some flyers there, so we would be honored for your attendance and your family, of course, and if you have children, we're very interested in the younger generations to go to the museum so they can see the history of Calexico and know that Calexico didn't appear overnight. It took a lot of people's lives, fortunes, and sacrifices to start what we know now as Imperial Valley and Mexicali Valley, and particularly Calexico. So, I have some extra flyers here that I will leave for the attendants that wish to have a flyer. All the information is there. I'll very briefly just explain what we have. We have over 100 exhibits in the museum. We call them presentations because, excuse me, we don't have a permanent building yet. And of course, we're counting on the City Council that one of these days maybe they can have a building for us so that we can have a permanent building for the historical museum. We founded the museum about 3 years ago, and I know for a fact that a lot of people don't know that Calexico has a museum, and we present them periodically during the year. We have pioneer and Calexico residents that give us talk about their experience when they came to Calexico, or if they were born here. We had the honor of having one of the speakers, the police chief, was one of them. Very good. We're going to call him back one of these days. So the good thing about these presentations is they're free, no charge. So we hope that you will attend. The ones that have attended before will be surprised that there's a lot more exhibits since they were there. Again, it's for the general public and especially the younger kids. I will go to the schools. I'm going to the schools hoping that the younger, the students of Calexico will get interested in the history of their town of Calexico. Thank you.
Mr. Herrera, sir, on behalf of everybody here, and I feel strongly I'm speaking on their behalf, I want to thank you and all the people behind you for your dedication. You're providing something very valuable, and I want to acknowledge now, and I'd like to see nods from the federal councilman, that this year we will have a strong will and we will give a concerted effort to find a place for your museum, for our museum, Mr. Herrera. I make that commitment to you now. I will try my best with everybody. Do we all agree? We're going to try real hard. It's very deserving for the community of Calexico.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it very much. I failed to mention that I have a committee, originally 15 committee members that helped me on this museum project. We have openings right now for about five that we wish would be interested in joining the museum committee. All you have to do is write a letter. You can address it and send it to my house or one of the committee members, so that we request that you write a letter stating that you're interested in helping the committee and how you feel that you can help the committee to have the museum as successful as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Herrera. So that's the 1st of December from 2 to 6 at the Calexico Cultural Arts Center, and it's free. Thank you very much for that information. Hope we all can join you. The next in line here is Roberto Muedano, and it says subject whiteboards. And before you begin, there was one that I had here that I had, okay, did that person that picked up?
Yeah.
They're not going to return it because we're down to our last one? Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Good evening, City Council members and audience. My name is Roberto Muedano, and I'm a citizen here in Calexico. And the reason I'm here today is because I recently noticed that the Calexico Unified School District is going to have a surplus of whiteboards. They currently are building, to my knowledge, they're currently building some modules. They're going to use most of them. And these reside at the intersection of 98 and Andrade in the maintenance corner. Now, I was told by some of the members there, some of the workers, they're going to have a surplus. And I'm currently working with Ms. Ambriz, the superintendent, so we can work around how we can get these donated to the city. Now, my question to the city council is that where am I able, do I need any permits to put these whiteboards, and where can I place them? I already talked.
Yeah, we would suggest that you contact the city manager, Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez right here.
Okay. And so do I need any permits for that, or?
I think that would probably be a discussion that you have directly with him.
Sounds good then. And yeah, I already talked to other, like Kika Marena is definitely interested on that, and I would contact you, sir, to discuss more about it later. All right, thank you.
Before you leave today, if you like, go ahead and get his phone number. Thank you. Just a reminder, I'm going to say this in English and in Spanish, just a reminder that what's left here as far as items that the public would like to comment on is with regard to item number 7. Number 7 has been removed. Nada más para decir esto en español, varios de los comentarios que están esperando hacer, se trata del artículo número 7 y el número 7 se ha removido, no se va a discutir ese asunto el día de hoy. ¿Okay? Pero no vamos a tener esto hasta un poquito más adelante. Entonces, si gustan esperarse un poquito. Okay, moving on to general comments by council members. If you'd like to begin, Mr. Hodge.
I have no general comments today.
Mr. Moreno.
I just hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving.
Mr. Castro.
Yes, I have a question to Mr. Nick Fenley.
Nick Fenley or Nick Servin?
Servin, I'm sorry. Yes. On November 11, I received a call from a person who lives on, I believe, 7, yes, 7 and Dual, and was a terrible water leaking from the street, and from 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. was the pipe was draining a lot of water, and was a 6 inches diameter pipe. My question is, do you know about that? Because was 3 hours was leaking water from that pipe on, I believe, 7 and Dual on November 11. Do you know about that?
7th and Dual, I think it was probably 6th and Dual.
Okay, 6th
one
and
block
Dual.
down, yeah. At the time, I didn't know about it, but my crews took care of it. Yes, it took 3 hours. Typically, we don't have any alarms out there, so it's only word of mouth. Somebody calls us and we find out, and so then we dispatch a crew. And unfortunately, this happened when nobody was around, so It took us a while to get
Yeah,
to
that-
it, but it was repaired already. And unfortunately, that's the older part of the city, and unfortunately, we have some old pipes, and this is going to happen every so often. So we have to develop a capital improvement program so that we can anticipate and fix those things. We're actively now doing some search and repair, identification, and budgeting for such items.
So my other question is, there is personnel on calls on those issues?
We have a person on call at the plant, and if they need more people, they'll call in more people depending on the situation. Typically, we don't have emergencies all the time, obviously, but this one did come up, and of course, we have personnel to attend to.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Do these water mains, do they break when the weather cools off, or what part of the year do these things happen?
Well, we do get some freezing weather out here, but not enough at the depth that the pipes are that it should be that much, that significant. Usually the freezing pipes occur closer to the surface, and those are small pipes, spigots, irrigation, and such. So those are usually going to be on private land. The actual mains, in this case, that was a branch off the main to a fire hydrant. And unfortunately, what happens is there's a valve that goes wrong, there's a sleeve that wasn't glued properly or is cast iron, and cast iron with time, with the hot soil that we have, does get eaten away. And so, unfortunately, it happens.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, this person called to the water department and nobody answered. That's the reason I mentioned this too, so you can look and see what happened on that day. Okay.
Well, he's not waiting by the phone. He's actively working on the premise, so he could have been out doing some work on the plant, maintaining the motors and pumps and so on. So he doesn't just stay in the office waiting for a phone call to call in. And he could have been out, the phone rings, they can hear it, and it takes a while to get to it. In some cases, they're in a noisy area, you can't even hear the phone. So, and then on top of it, we're relying on an old phone system that doesn't have the best reception in the area. We're dealing with that right now.
Thank you, Mr. Servin.
Anytime.
That's it.
That's it.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Mayor.
Mayor Pro Tem, no, I do not have any comments.
The only comment that I will make is that, I'm sorry. Yes,
Go ahead.
no?
Go ahead.
Is that we did have a somewhat of a meeting with regard to the pool. He's already did his. To the pool, that continues. And we also had a meeting for the ad hoc border issues, which was very interesting because there's a lot of work wanting to be done to try to expand the East Port of Entry services and try to have a lot of our visitors and people who cross our border go more towards the East Port of Entry. So a lot of that conversation happened at that last meeting. This is tomorrow? Okay, tomorrow, one comment that we'd like to make to the public is that tomorrow here at the council chambers, we will be having Assemblyman Manuel Perez and Chairman Ben Hueso for the Border Infrastructure and Economic Development Opportunities in Surrounding Region. We'll be having that meeting here at City Hall tomorrow from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And those that would like to attend are welcome. I believe we're also having our tree lighting ceremony on the 29th, which is Thursday at 5 o'clock here at City Hall, if you'd like to come and join us. We'll have refreshments and a gathering, so thank you very much. Okay, so moving on now to general fund departments on our agenda. We're going to start off with the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve, or are there any items that would like to be pulled?
If none are pulled, I'll motion to approve all four.
Second.
Okay, thank you. First from Mr. Romero, second from Mr. Moreno. Please vote.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you. All items are approved. Okay, moving on to the business items. Item number 5, or on our business items agenda, was anything besides number 7 that would like to be pulled or before beginning? No? Okay, at this time then, I'm going to go ahead and provide the opportunity to those persons who wanted to make comments on item number 7. And again, reminding you that item number 7 is the discussion or the action on the request by Corsair, the Grand Plaza project, to adjust development and impact fees. We will not be discussing as a council this item tonight, but I will go ahead and allow the individuals that would like to come up and discuss anything. You have 3 minutes. Dan Chidas, you're first up, Dan. Where are you?
Good evening, members of the council. My name is Daniel Chidas, 930 Rockwood Avenue. And I come here just to let you know about item 7. I also serve the Planning Commission. And as this project was introduced to us, it seemed to be a well project. It seemed to be a good project. However, the information that was now given to me was in regards to the impact fees, that they needed to be lowered, which I totally disagree on that, because if they felt in the first place that Calexico was a good place and a good town to come over and present a project for us, why not keep it the way that they originally planned for? Why are they now asking to reduce impact fees? Plus, I don't think it's fair for other businesses as well that are here, who are also locals, who also bring in those type of fees into our community, and why give that type of side to only one project? That's just all I got to say, and hopefully you can take that in consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chidas. Next is Daniel Marron.
Buenas noches, señores regidores. Buenas noches, querido público. Voy a dar lectura a un documento que son 3 minutos lo establecido, que es el pensamiento de nuestra comunidad, de nuestra gente que estamos aquí, ya que el punto número 7 de la agenda se sacó pues, en este momento, pero quiero que sepan lo que estamos pensando nosotros. Mi nombre es Daniel Marrón, vivo en el 935 de la calle Cuarta de Calexico. Ustedes son nuestro máximo gobierno local en Calexico. Hoy se va a votar, o se iba a votar por el punto número 7 de la agenda, donde la compañía Corsair con el proyecto Gran Plaza pide un descuento de $3.5 millones a los impact fees, o cargo de impacto por su inversión de 94 millones. Nosotros creemos que tiene que analizar un nuevo impacto a futuro y no al momento y a la ligera. Nuestra opinión también es que deben pagar lo que se requiere legalmente. Es dinero que a nuestra ciudad le hace falta y urge para seguridad pública. Sabemos cómo estamos en seguridad pública, en educación, tráfico control y desarrollo de nuestra comunidad. Les recordamos que esta empresa ya hizo un estudio de mercado y saben que van a obtener utilidades millonarias. Esto es un jugoso negocio. También su compromiso de terminar la primera fase para abril 2013 ya van retrasados en construcción. Todos ustedes tienen una visión política, señores regidores, tienen una visión política y van a querer reelegirse después o correr para una posición de supervisor del condado. Pero recuerden que al pueblo no se le olvidará los errores que hoy se pudieran cometer, o en la próxima reunión, o cuando se lleve el punto número 7 o otro punto, pero del descuento que pide esta compañía, y que vayan a afectar nuestro bienestar y nuestra economía, señores. Como amigos les decimos, vengan los inversionistas, pero no a ese costo, los impactos son de por vida. También les sugerimos no votar a los regidores que recibieron apoyo a sus campañas recientes por esta compañía. Tenemos pruebas de esto, pues sería un conflicto de intereses si alguno de ustedes siente un compromiso con esta compañía. Y si la sienten así, pues que paguen con sus bienes materiales, no con lo del pueblo. Un ejemplo se hicieron miles de encuestas telefónicas con inducción al voto popular, ofreciendo trabajo al pueblo y pidiendo el voto ausente para algunos candidatos a regidores aquí presentes. Esta carta demuestra la carta que tenemos aquí, que ya distribuimos, y se la vamos a llegar a ustedes, señores. demuestra que esta compañía invirtió miles de dólares en la campaña de algunos de ustedes y tal parece que ahora quiere cobrar el favor muy caro, a costa de nuestro bienestar y sin tomar en cuenta al pueblo. Y ¿saben qué, amigos? A esto también se le llama soborno disfrazado, corrupción, pues está en contra de la ley toda esta acción. Seguiremos luchando por un no al descuento de los fees de esta compañía. Seguiremos luchando, compañeros. Por último, querido público presente, les pido un aplauso para todos nuestros regidores, para motivarlos y que tomen la decisión correcta y saben beneficio de todas nuestras familias, que será la próxima probablemente. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, señor Marrón. Ricardo López.
No.
Arturo Selwick.
Good evening, City Council, Mr. Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and everyone else present. It's been a long time since I've been here, and I'm glad to see all your faces again, especially Oscar. If this project is a real project, all residents of Calexico are the winners. However, I'm afraid that we are again repeating a dreadful mistake, the same dreadful mistake we have repeated so many times in the past. We have been but naive and gullible in our dealings with developers. Just a rapid resume of the huge losses the city has incurred. Kmart Center promised 3,000 jobs. Peso Market promised 240 jobs. Data processing promised 60 jobs. Paseo Mall promised 360. Portico Industrial Park promised several thousand. Allied Paper promised 200 or 300. Multiplex Movie promised 40 or 50 jobs, plus all the new housing developments that promised parks and delivered nothing. The net result of the city not charging impact and annexation fees has been a financial boom for the developers and a dismal failure in each and every one of the above-named projects. The reason is so simple and basic, even a child could avoid them. We as parents and councilmen ask our children to work hard at school, get good grades, study, and learn. If they perform and prove themselves, we are proud and reward them. However, what do our leaders do? Developers present pie-in-the-sky estimates, pretty artistic sketches, appear with lawyers in beautiful suits and Mercedes-Benz. And even though a reasonable person would question their glowing exaggerations, we reward them by giving them our money before they show any results. This is the exact opposite of what we do at home. We do not give our kids rewards because they promise good grades. We must see results. So why, for goodness sakes, don't we demand the same from developers? If the city is determined to proceed with this project, 1, do a background report on Corsair LLC. Incidentally, Corsair in the dictionary means pirate and marauder. And the Charles Corporation. Find out how they have performed in other cities. Do they have delinquent taxes, lawsuits, labor complaints, real money of their own? Are they prepared to invest in infrastructure? How do they pay their bills? You must know the answers to these questions before you proceed. What is so wrong in parceling out any monies after they achieve preset construction goals?
Mr. Selwick? I'm so sorry.
Pardon me?
I'm so sorry. Could you finish up in 30 seconds?
I'm sorry.
Could you finish up in 30 seconds, Mr. Selwick?
Remind him they have 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're running out of time.
I'm just about another half minute.
Okay.
In other words, reward for achievement, no money for their unrealistic promises. Past 10-year history of this project has produced only phony photo ops and broken promises. Be skeptical, but cautiously helpful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Selwick. And last but not least, Jordana Selwick.
Okay. Good evening, council members. An LLC, as many of you may know and some may not know, is a corporation with limited liability. That means they are not responsible. When you go to a bank to ask for a loan, and you're an LLC or even a corporation, a real one, they don't just lend you the money for Selwick's Inc. They make every single owner of that company sign a personal guarantee. And that's how banks protect themselves from LLCs. I'm not saying that the city's doing that, but that's something to consider also when we give out our money is you should be getting personal guarantees from all the members of these LLCs. And I just wrote a little bit of what impact fees do. One of the reasons we don't have a swimming pool is because we have not collected impact fees in the past. No new parks, same reason. This project is a good project. And if they really believe in it, if the Charles Company and CoCLX believe in it, they will be willing to put their own money in it. When I believe in something, I put my money in it. I believe in something, I go and pay for it. Nobody gives me anything free. This is a company that is going to bring jobs. Then we need to see the people employed first and not getting minimum wage either. People need more than $8 an hour to make a living. I also wanted to put there that the impact fees that we ask for are there for water, sewer, fire, police, road repair, street cleaning. These impact fees are there to assure that the current maintenance of these public facilities is maintained well. This project, if they do not pay impact fees, is going to incur additional costs to our city, and money that we do not currently have. The city is basically broke. And they're asking us to give them $3 million of our taxpayer money so they can come build a building. Well, they're not going to stay around. CoCLX is just here for today. Tomorrow it's going to be some other big company that's going to buy the project because they've already gotten $3 million, so they're going to sell it for $6 million, and they're going to wipe their hands clean of Calexico, just like all the other ones that Mr. Selwick mentioned in his write-up. They all have done the same thing. Yes, the movie theater's still open, but I think they have less than 8 employees there. And it isn't the 40 or 50 they promised us. So what I'm asking is for the city council to please consider when this item is brought up again in the agenda, that they pay their fair share. Anybody that has vision knows that we need employment in the city, but unfortunately, people that are in retail know that it's not in retail. I'm asking my kids to study things that have nothing to do with retail, even though we've always been retailers, because the money isn't in retail. Those are jobs, minimum wage jobs. Please, I implore you that if they want to bring this project in, have them pay. Because we need a pool, we need parks, we need streets. I don't know if anybody uses Balker Road. It's completely destroyed. When you go into the houses on their Villa something, excuse me, I can't remember. So that's it. That's all I have to say. You know, that I would like, again, to state how important impact fees are to every single person that's sitting in this place, because we all live here, we all have houses, we all need streets, we all need police, especially policemen and firemen. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Ms. Selwick. Thank you very much. That was the last of the public comments. Now we're going to be moving on to the business items, starting with item number 5. City Manager, do you have any comments with regard to this item?
Thank you, Mayor and council members. Item number 5 refers to the housing rehabilitation program guidelines. Every 5 years, we are to look at our guidelines and adjust them for what is actually going on in the community. This year, we're looking at it from the standpoint of, obviously, the economic situation out there. We have a lot of families that are in need, and currently our guidelines do not reflect our ability to be able to help them. I'm not going to go line by line, but I will highlight some of the items that we're looking to change as to our guidelines. One of the items, and it's on page 3, talks about the indebtedness, and we're talking about the indebtedness cannot exceed 120%. This will address the issue that we have with some low-income, especially seniors, that need assistance for their homes, and but can't qualify right now because of the economic situation. They don't have the loan-to-value, and therefore we cannot help them out. This allows us to move ahead of the loan-to-value, given that they meet 3 out of 4 conditions, and these are pretty tough conditions to meet. One of the conditions is a disabled person who is in immediate need of certain improvements to the property because they are disabled. That would be one. Number 2 would be that the structure is in a hazardous condition that would warrant being red tagged by the building department. Obviously, by the time you get to the point that it warrants being red tagged is because it's in pretty deplorable shape. 3 would be overcrowding that would force 2 or more members of the opposite sex to share a room. That's considered overcrowding, and that gives you qualifies for the ability to add an additional living unit. And then number 4 requires additional changes on an ongoing rehabilitation project. So as you can see, the items are pretty tough to meet, and what we're putting in our regs is that you have to meet 3 out of those 4 conditions. One of the other conditions that has popped out is, I'm trying to remember the painting, help me out here. I'm sorry, lead-based paint. Before 1970s, some of the houses were done with lead-based paint, and that led to problems. So if they have that, that's a condition that we need to adjust and repair. So if you would meet 4 of these conditions, even though you were upside down on your home, we could be able to go in and help you. And there's a lot of people out there in this community that need the assistance that are upside down in their homes. So this gives us the ability to go in and help some of these people. That is the major change. There are some other changes that we have in here, such as a maintenance, that they have to sign a maintenance agreement so that if in fact we do provide assistance, that they have to maintain the property for a minimum of 15 years so that the properties don't get rehabbed and then all of a sudden they let them go, and then we have a problem within the community regarding that. There's also another major change in here that allows for a maximum loan to the client of 120%. There's families out there that have a first, and because of the fact that they're upside down, they may have a first. I'll try to use some simple numbers here. Let's say they have a first for $100,000, but their house is valued at $60,000 at this point, and their house needs a lot of repair. So let's say they go in there and we do all kinds of repairs, and all of a sudden between the first and the second, now we're up to $150,000. Well, what this change allows us to do is that there's a maximum of 120% cap. So if the construction was $100,000, we could only provide a loan, or they could only have a loan up to 120. So if your first is 80, we could only require them to take out a loan for 40,000. The remainder up to the 150 would be a grant. And so this puts them so that we don't put them in a position that they're going to end up defaulting in the future. And so this is what this guideline would do. Allow us to help them and not put them in the position that, 2 or 3 years later, they're in the same position and we have to deal with it again. The rest of the changes are minor. I'd be happy to go over if there's one in particular you want to look at, but those are the major points that we looked at. And again, a lot of this has to do with the economic situation that is out there right now. We are looking in the future, if this continues, we may want to look at the possibility of amortized loans that people qualify because they're low income but not low enough to get a grant. We are discussing the possibility of doing a deferral for 5 years So hopefully the economy turns around, then your loan to values become a little better before you have to start paying on your homes. So these are the things that we should constantly be looking at. As the economy changes, as the environment changes, our guidelines should be modified to adjust so that we can help these poor individuals in our community. So that's what these changes do, and so we're asking for approval on these changes so we can send them up to the state.
Thank you. Is there any comments from the council?
Chair, if there's no objection by this council, I would motion for its approval.
Okay. Thank you. First by Mr. Romero, second by Mr. Moreno. Please vote. Okay, thank you. Item number 6, discussion and/or action on approval of a resolution of the City Council of the City of Calexico allowing future sidewalk sales and waiving meter fees for Business Improvement District members for the holiday season beginning on Friday after Thanksgiving Day through January 6th of the new year, and permit fee adjustment to $50 for such period for Business Improvement District members.
Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, this item comes up every year. And so this year, we've kind of taken a different approach to it. We have said we'd like you to consider passing a resolution that will allow this on an annual basis so that we don't all have to be here every single year going through the same situation. And if your backup, your resolution will say that, and tonight you're going to be asked by the Business Improvement District to consider doing this again this year. And hopefully when you pass the resolution, if you so desire to do that, that will now allow us to continue to have these on a yearly basis and assist our Business Improvement District. And I believe you have a representative here from the district that would like to also address the issue.
Hello, Mr. Lopez.
Hello, Eduardo Lopez. I'm representing the Calexico Business Improvement District. As you guys mentioned earlier, I'm coming before you tonight to request your help in making this holiday season a success for our downtown merchants. We are requesting that you allow us to have sidewalk sales for the month of December and set the fee for $50. There are about 25 merchants that rely on sidewalk sales in the month of December to make it through the rest of the year. We are also requesting that you waive the parking meters for the month of December to encourage shoppers to choose our downtown as a shopping choice. We do request that you continue to enforce a 2-hour time limit to keep a good flow of our customers in our downtown. With your help and continue work through these tough, we can continue to work through these tough economic times. I spoke earlier to our Honorable Mayor, Mr. Romero, and he asked me why we didn't go before the Measure H Committee for assistance with the parking meters. And my response was, I feel that Measure H funds should only be used for police, fire, parks, and seniors, as was the spirit of the measure when the people of Calexico voted for it. I understand that it can be used for what the committee and the city council feel the city needs, but I just don't feel right about asking for something that I know the money wasn't intended for. I'd like to thank you for your consideration in this matter, and do you have any questions?
Okay, thank you.
No question?
Any
I
comments?
have no questions to your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Any comments by the council?
I think the downtown is always benefiting from a lot of activity. The merchants that provide the sidewalk sales and the waiving of the parking meters is a good way to generate revenue. And I think this is a good thing, and as long as the merchants keep it clean with the assistance of the city and a team effort, then it's a win-win situation. So if there's no other comments, I'd like to motion on its approval.
I will second for discussion. That is correct, what Mr. Lopez said a little while ago about the discussion that we had, that since the general fund keeps getting a hit from different issues, and as it was mentioned regarding the issue with the impact fees, Mr. Lopez, I myself feel that it should be going through the Measure H committee, since a lot of those tax revenues are coming from them, from the downtown, and this is a way to kind of say thank you for what you're doing. As Mr. Lopez has also mentioned to me, is that as he mentioned, that he prefers for it not to go through the Measure H committee. But this is, my intent here is not just to impact the Measure H. My intent here is so the general fund will not be negatively impacted. The parking meter revenues, they help the police department. There's other issues that keep getting addressed. That's also for senior programs, that I believe another item is there coming up. So again, it's an issue how to protect the current cash flow in the interest of the general fund. That is it, and like I said, I second it for discussion.
If the council would allow, Ms. Norma Aguilar would like to make a comment. She just gave me the message now. We usually try to have public comment before the actual council begins to discuss, so. Okay, sorry. Okay, any other comments?
No comments.
Okay, so we have a first by
Second.
Mr. Moreno, second for discussion, but we've discussed that. Now we're ready to vote. Okay. Okay, moving right along. Item number 7 again has been removed, so we're going to move on to item number 8, appointment by council members. Congratulations to the bid, by the way. Appointment by council members, appointment by Councilmember Moreno to the Arts Commission.
Are you sure I have nobody in the Arts Commission? I'd like to appoint Dr. Frederick Lanusa for the Arts Commission.
Okay, thank
I
you.
have no one for the beautification.
No appointment for the Beautification Commission?
Anybody out there would like to volunteer?
Yeah, that's a reminder
Raise your
to,
hand.
to everyone out there, anyone who would like to be able to apply, just go ahead and submit
David
that.
Uzan? No, he didn't.
Okay, so that'll happen then next time. Okay, moving on then, we have a public hearing. Item number 9.
Mayor,
At this-
tonight, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We have a public hearing. We have 2 public hearings tonight, and so what we'd like to do is give you a staff report up front, and then we'd ask you that you open the public hearing, close it, and take action on it. I'll call on the Public Works Director to give you the staff report.
This is a public hearing to consider approval of uniform application number 2011-02, negative declaration number 2011-01, conditional use permit and tentative subdivision map, actually a parcel map, for condominium purposes for the Las Palmas Mobile Home Park. So there's 3 resolutions before you: negative deck, conditional use permit, and tentative parcel map. The physical impact is ultimately the proposed project will have a positive impact due to the community of the city. It is estimated the future residents shopping and residing within Las Palmas community will generate sales tax revenues in the city of Calexico. In addition, the sales tax revenue will be generated. It is anticipated that the development of the project will provide necessary construction jobs. This has been in front of you a few years ago and has been part of the Bravo Rodiles Ranch project back in 2004. The entire project consists of 466 mobile home sites. However, in front of you, you have a parcel map to divide it into 4 parcels, primarily for funding and building purposes to make it conceivable. Now, because it's a mobile home park, by definition, the county of Imperial takes a lot of jurisdiction. They take jurisdiction in everything within the boundaries, such as the building permits, the infrastructure, the grading, etc., all of which have been reviewed and approved by them as well as reviewed by us. We have engineering reviews and signatures from both sides, county and the city, and this was done before I got here, obviously. I've had a chance to review all the documents and have really got into the meat of the entire approval process, unfortunately. But they are consistent with the original Bravo Rodiles subdivision maps, conditions, MOU, etc., already discussed ad nauseum. So nothing new here, and so The reason it's coming to you now is because I believe the applicant, who is here in the audience, would like to speak of it, to it, is at a point where they'd like to move ahead and start to divide it and develop it on a step-by-step basis. They're agreeing to all the conditions that were set forth, and let's see, again, there's just 3 resolutions that are before you to approve. I'm not sure if the consultant would like to say any more, or the developer. Would you like to add any more? Any questions? City Council.
Does anyone on the council have any questions?
Nick, I'd just like to learn here, why did it take so long?
That I don't know. Maybe the developer can address that. But I think it's probably due to the fact that the development economic situation took a dive and essentially brought all development to a stop.
I have a question, Mr. Servin. What are we, as a city, doing to market this to winter visitors? Or, I mean, have we thought of that at this point? Because I know many cities along our area here have mobile home parks and cater to a lot of winter visitors that come in, and they usually generate a lot of tax revenue to our city by shopping or what have you. Have we considered that particular item?
In my department, we don't do any marketing. I think that's more of the housing portion of the city. The developer probably has done some marketing, and again, typically because it's a jurisdictional situation where the county has more say on these matters, we typically are more in a peripheral type of overview. We're more, I guess our jurisdiction essentially starts from the boundary. So they tie into our infrastructure, streets, sewers, storm drain, retention basins, et cetera, and we take it on from there. Inside of there is reviewed and processed and inspected by the County of Imperial.
So there's 466 sites?
Eventually.
In how many acres again?
76.
76. So what is the ratio of site per acre?
Or per square feet?
Well, the first
I think it's going to be an acre.
site, I believe, is about 33 acres, 33.7 acres. And I'm not sure how many houses are included in that, but I believe they have a lot of expense in the first project, part of the project, and I'll acquiesce to the developer to talk more about that since he's more in tune to that.
So at these sites, the developer will develop or will place the mobile home units? Or will there be a cement pad with connections, or how does that work? I know we've had...
Somewhat semantics, but yes, you have a Title 25, I'll try not to get into technical jargon, but it's essentially a prefab structure going on a slab. A slab represents typically a regular stick-built house, so a lot of people confuse it as a regular house, which is nice. It's actually above and beyond what you get with a typical manufactured home. So I think the client has really, or the developer, has really gone out of his way to offer a better product to the citizenry. So that's very good.
Because I think Calexico has 2 mobile home parks within its city limits. Is that correct? 101 Bernardo, and then I believe on Harold Avenue.
And then there's the one on
Three.
Avenue,
West.
Robinson Ford?
Next to Robinson Ford.
That's 101 Bernardo.
across the street,
Okay.
Across the street.
There's one across the street.
next to Hems Mortuary.
Camacho?
Oh, that's right.
Okay, that's Anchor Steel Park or something like that. So there's 3. Okay. And then some of these are just regular trailers that have been, there for years. These are going to be actual fabricated mobile homes.
From all looks, we're going to be driving through it, and it's going to look like a typical home that you see elsewhere.
Prefabricated, I guess is the term.
Prefab panels.
I have no more questions, Mr. Mayor, or Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Any other comments?
I do have one. With this being approved, when is this projected to start? Is there a projected date? Or is this approval now and wait until? 2025. Yes.
I'll let the developer speak to that, but I think he wants to, if he gets approval today, he wants to start tomorrow. I'm pretty sure, so.
Is that correct? Good. That's great. Usually we're approving these things and it's the year 2025 before they're being built.
Just to give you a little more insight, why don't I let the developer speak about this?
There's a song for that, isn't there? In the year 20?
I think he can do more justice than I can.
Okay, if you don't mind, can I open the public hearing, and then that way, because I do have one person who wants to make a comment. Okay, so we're opening up the public hearing at 7:42 p.m. Public hearing to consider approval of uniform application number 2011-02, negative declaration number 2011-01, conditional use permit and tentative subdivision map for condominium proposed for Las Palmas Mobile Home Park. I guess right now at this point we will accept comments for those in favor of this item, and I have one from John Renison. Where is he? And he is in favor, right?
Yes. John Renison, Supervisor, District 1, encompassing all of Calexico except that area. That's now in District 5. However, I was on the City Council in 2002 when this project started, 3 planning directors ago, and 3 city engineers ago, and 2 city attorneys ago. And Oscar, Oscar, you were here. You were here.
How many city managers?
And quite frankly, if I was a developer, I'd be pulling my hair, and I think they have, but they don't show it. And this project deserves to be approved for many reasons: impact fees, economic development, and I mean, you know, I think Mr. Moreno brought up the fact, visitors, things of that nature. More importantly, this is an upscale project. This will not become a slum. Gated. I mean, you're talking upscale here, and we really need it badly, as well as, you know, affordable housing in Calexico. And, you know, no sooner you build affordable housing like Quintero, they're filled up, this place will be filled up too. So just in a nutshell, the county, that was before my time, did approve this, went through all the motions, and because of mobile homes, the county has jurisdiction on that type of development. But once again, 4 city managers ago, or 5, I don't know, 2 city attorneys ago, and 3 planning directors ago, and 4 city councils, this project started, and hopefully you all will vote for it tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Renison. Anyone else in favor?
Good evening. My name is Teofilo Hamwe. I'm with Las Palmas Mobile Home Park. I think just to touch up a couple of the questions and concerns. One has to do with timing. I think we've been victim to the constant turnover from staff that we've been trying to get this built since 2000. Back in 2009, we received our permit to construct the park. However, that permit to construct was under one parcel. Due to bonding and phasing purposes, we presented this tentative map in front of you to phase the project appropriately, or else we would build it all 466 homes, which we're not capable of doing. So basically, the tentative map that you have in front of you is strictly drawing imaginary lines on our parcel so that we can phase the project appropriately. In terms of the product that we're going to put in this project, it's manufactured home. The term mobile home has a bad connotation, but these are all manufactured homes. They're all on post-tension slabs. If I may. This is our mobile home park. Has nothing to do with trailers, has nothing to do with sewer hookups. These are all, believe it or not, manufactured off-site, assembled on-site. So this is a typical street scene that we've been trying to implement here in the city. Again, this is a gated community. The first phase that we're trying to commence as soon as we have approval will be approximately, I believe, 130 sites up in subphases. Together with this plan, we're also building a 5,000 square foot clubhouse that has 2 pools, one for kids, one for adults, tennis courts, a basketball court, swimming pools. So this is a whole encompassing project that I believe the city needs.
Will that be in the first phase?
That's correct. Everything's happening in the first phase.
What size are the lots?
Typically, they're about 4,000 square foot lots. Some are odd shapes. Everything in yellow is the first phase. This is where the clubhouse would be. This is our cell. We're not putting this to last. This is where we drive.
You should have had that individual sheets.
This is also the clubhouse. That will serve, that will serve as also our sales center. Again, this is happening with our first phase.
Rec room and everything?
That's correct.
Full memberships for the council.
Okay.
Did you have a question?
I don't know if you have any questions. I'll just stand around if you do.
Well,
No, I do, sir.
yeah, we're still going to be receiving some comments still. Yeah. There's still one more. Probably not yet. Let's go ahead and finish up with the comments. So, thank you. Where's my other one here? There's also a request for comments from May Randall. I'm sorry, Mai. Didn't indicate if you were in favor or, okay, in favor.
Good evening, council members. Mai Randall for the Calexico Unified School District. First of all, the district appreciates the opportunity to speak to the city in regards to this. For the record, we wanted to let the city council and the developers know that there was a change in the developer fee. Instead of the $7.11 for level 2 fees, it's now $4. It's actually different, and it's actually $4.87 per square feet as far as the developer fees go. And that also there's a statutory fee of the $2.87, I believe, that the district would be expecting in regards to the developments. We just appreciate the opportunity to work collaboratively with the city in regards to the developer fees, because as a result of the growth, and we're happy for the growth in Calexico, there will be students that the district will have to educate. So just keeping all those things in mind, and the district is not opposed to this development. And just for the record, we wanted to clarify the developer fee charges. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now, if you'd like to make any other comments. Before I continue on though, are there any other comments in favor from the public?
Yeah, I have a comment.
Mr. David Uzan, your comments in favor? Okay, you didn't give me a slip, but that's okay.
I just remember this project when I was myself on the council. It's a great project. You know, you can see the pictures. This is a very serious developer, walk the talk. You know, he does pretty good jobs. And, you know, unfortunately, I'm not on the council to take pride of this project, but, you know, I think you will do good for approving this project tonight. And this is something that we need. And he is definitely not asking for any waivers or fees. And he is, you know, he pays his dues, he pays his fees. It's about time to bring this project to reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Uzan. Okay, any comments opposed to this project? Please come forward. Okay, being that there are no further comments? I'm going to go ahead and close this public hearing at 7:48. Now I, that's right. Any other comments that you'd like to make about this?
I just wanted some clarification. I'm sorry, sir, your name again? Ted. Ted. What year did you initiate this project?
I'm going back because it took us 6 years to annex into the city, and then we finally received approval in '02, and then we finally received another site approval in '04, and then the struggles with Imperial County happened for another 5 years.
The what now, Imperial County?
Struggle with Imperial County.
Struggle.
No, well, the issuing of the permit is done with Imperial County, and that was the heartache, I guess, from previous staff that they were not aware of Title 25. So it took about 5 years for staff to understand the process and for Imperial County to issue us our permit. So in 2009, we officially received it.
And then from 2009, it was up to the city of Calexico to move forward?
Up until 2009, we received our permit, and then we had to subdivide the property. We had to parcelize the property, and that's what we're doing today.
You know, I'm always a student of learning. I don't pretend to know all these things. This timeline, is this, anyone can answer, is this a typical timeline
No.
for development? Or this really is really stretched out? Because for me, I find this, I mean, I'm perplexed or nonplussed about how long this took, especially for something so attractive as this kind of development.
I'll credit the fact that our product doesn't get built too often. So there was a learning curve involved, but not 10 years of a learning curve. We already built 2 other projects in Riverside County by the time this has still not even get built in the ground. So we're still far behind on the curve when it comes to development.
Oh, I apologize to you for taking so long. I mean, I find that amazing. I'm not trying to point fingers, but it's, good Lord, I hope we don't do something like that again. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Any further comments?
Yeah, Mr. Renison forgot it was about a whole bunch of planning commissioners ago, and I believe I was one of them. And I think Mr. Peroni was also, and Mr. Selwick were also in the planning when this came before us. And it seems to me that this is the first of its kind here in the city of Calexico, if I'm not mistaken, looking at the renditions, the clubhouse, et cetera. A question that I have is this is going to require a lot of construction jobs.
Yes.
Are you going to be soliciting local construction?
That's correct.
Okay.
A bunch of our design-build subcontractors are actually local. They're the ones who deal with IID on a daily basis. They know their workforce. So we've contacted the people who we know are important, and we're guessing probably around 50 to 80 people locally that our subcontractors will be doing the work. Yes.
Well, that's good, and I'm glad to hear that. And I think this is our opportunity to look at different living conditions, living quarters, if you will, for our residents, and giving them options on where and, you know, and what type of abodes or living facilities that they choose to take part in. So I'd like to make motion for its approval.
Second.
We do have 3 separate resolutions that the council needs to take action on, so that would be a motion for the resolution certifying the negative declaration.
That would be correct.
Second.
Mr. Hodge, second. I'd just like to ask a question to Ted?
Yes.
See if we can leave that as discussion.
I think it's Teddy.
Teddy?
Wasn't it Teddy? Sorry.
Billy?
Ted.
Okay, Billy. Ted, I have a question. Just as I inquired earlier how soon you're going to develop this project, when do you think it'll be ready for occupancy?
Well, we anticipate first quarter of 2013 to commence our infrastructure, which involves all the grading, all the sewer lines, fire lines, water lines, will take around 5 months to commence. We want to put that in correlation with the 4 models as well as the clubhouse that'll be built. So we're trying to space them together. We're obviously, typically you see a builder come out in April, and that's when they open their doors. But we're so far behind that we don't care if we come in the fall. So
Okay, after they start in April, it takes how many months to?
we're thinking it'll probably take anywhere between 6 and 9 months to finally be open with models, with our clubhouse, things like that.
With your different models, what kind of price structures are you looking at the units?
We have 6 different types of models, and we're gearing one that is a 1-story, 3-bedroom, which is not affordable, but it's our low-entry home. We're anticipating that being in the mid-100s. And then we have homes that are about 2,200 square feet. Some are 2 stories, and it's amazing what you can do with manufactured homes. If I wouldn't tell you, you wouldn't know the difference between that and a regular home.
Thank you, and good luck to your project.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any further comments before?
Yeah, I'm going to go through the individual motions.
Did you need to do some reading?
No. These are not ordinances, so that I don't need to do any readings.
Okay, so Mr. Moreno, you provided
First
your
motion.
Mr. Castro, second. Please vote. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make a comment about this project is that.
Yes, we
3
have 2
motions,
more.
3 resolutions.
Okay.
The second resolution is the resolution approving the conditional use permit.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, first by Mr. Moreno, second by Mr. Hodge. Please vote.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
And the third resolution is the resolution approving the tentative map.
So moved.
Second.
Go ahead, Castro.
First by Mr. Moreno, second by Mr. Romero.
Yes.
You got it.
I had to
Please
be
vote.
faster on that one.
Jumping the gun, man.
Jeez. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, Ted. And
I just wanted to make a
gentleman
real quick
next to
comment about your project, is that, you know, there's a misunderstanding.
Finally.
And actually, what you said, Mr. Uzan, it's true.
You're not used to that,
All
huh,
that,
Mr. Wilson?
all that hard work that you all did before this day, it's nice and easy for us just to sit here and do this vote for you. But there's been a lot ahead of all of us, so very much appreciate. But what I was going to comment is that there's a lot of misunderstanding out there thinking that this is a trailer park. And it's not. It's actually a very quality project. And it's great that you brought those pictures out. It would be really nice if you could put that out maybe in Ivy Press.
Yeah, I would challenge Ms. Chelsea to take a picture and put it in the...
Yes.
Yeah, Chelsea.
And make sure that everyone understands that this is not a
And Mr.
normal trailer
Bojorquez.
park, that this is actually something very nice. So congratulations. Thank you so much. Moving right along, we have a second public hearing, and this is item number 10. Public hearing to consider UA 2012-13, tentative subdivision map number 059-455-0 for condominium purposes. Proposed zone change number 2012-01 from R-A residential apartment to PUD. Planned unit development. Conditional use permit number 2012-03 and negative declaration number 2012-01 for approximately 2.07 acres of land generally located on southeast corner of Cole Boulevard and Clinton Avenue.
We are going to again give you a staff report prior to you opening up the public hearing. You can take your comments at that point, close your public hearing. We would ask that you approve this project. I was hoping that former Councilman Razan was still here so that he could give you another round of applause, hopefully, once we get this project done. This is very nice to see. I think that finally we're beginning to see some projects moving forward. And so it's very nice to be able to present these projects to the council and the community so that they can see that we are working behind the scenes to move these projects forward. So maybe we can get Mr. Razan back after your vote and he can give us another applause here. Staff will present its report now.
Thank you.
It's just that Mr. Usan wasn't used to unanimous when he was in council.
Yeah, well.
Go ahead.
Okay. This was before you last city council, and it was tabled due to some feedback from the school district, which I think they're here to respond to. And it's very similar to what they what they had concerns on with the previous project. And again, typically what we do as an agency, this is a little bit different from the previous one because of the manufactured home Title 25 status. The county gets involved. In this one, we're fully involved, so we issue the building permits. When we issue the building permits, before we issue the building permits, we ask the developer to show us, demonstrate to us that they've satisfied the school district. So as far as the school district's concerned, we ask for that to be provided. They negotiate with them, they demonstrate to us that they've satisfied them, and then we issue the permit. So it is a safeguard for them. And sorry. So it guarantees that the school district is going to collect their fees. But again, this was before you. Staff already discussed this to you, and there's no change other than tabling it for discussion and for us staff to review it due to the concerns from the school district. And before you, you have 4 resolutions. One is approving the negative deck. The other is first reading of the ordinance for a zone change. And the third one is adopt resolution for a conditional use permit. And the fourth one is to adopt resolution to approve the tentative map. The Planning Commission had already voted on this 4-0, and again, it's 2 acres on the site located in the proximity of Cole Road and Clinton Avenue. And let's see, we have very nice upscale homes that are being developed as condominiums. And the reason they're being developed as condominiums is to make them very affordable. And it's a nice design. I think the developer went out of his way to make it a nice subdivision and, again, being affordable. There was another process when he first started that he was going to go through, but I think financially it just wouldn't pencil out. So we explained that there was another option, and so he chose to take that option. So nothing new, negative deck, and pretty easy process here. So if you have any questions of me, go ahead.
I have a question. On page, I believe it's the one, third way, it's got a little table there. The existing land use, which is a zone change to planned unit development, the high-density residential. Are these condominiums, are these townhouses? What is the definition of the planned unit development?
Planned unit development allows you to work, well, you know what, let me let the consultant speak to that, since that's his expertise. Oh, he's gone. All right. The planned unit development allows developers to essentially build within the standards with some minor deviations to be consistent with the zone and land uses in the area. Because of the planned unit development, it allows flexibility. Typically, you have very tight conditions, and otherwise you wouldn't, it wouldn't pencil out financially. So in this case, the developer was able to make them so that there are 0 lot lines. Our ordinance does not allow 0 lot lines. We typically have a setback, but the way they're designed, you have essentially townhomes, they're individual homes held together with a common wall. Other than that, they look like typical single-family home.
But they're basically two dwellings, 2 family dwellings, let's per se, with a common wall.
Like a duplex.
I want to say duplex, but
well, I mean, it's like, I know a duplex apartment, but
is that correct?
Yes.
And the reason for high density is that compliant with the general plan for that particular parcel? This is going to be across the street from where there are already apartments, is that correct?
Condos?
I think they're They're apartments, and yes, there are apartments right across the street.
Right, because that's right on the very end of that, right there, going on the way to the Rodiles
Correct.
Convenience store. But they're high density, meaning that more people, more residents per acreage.
Typically, that's what high density means, and although these are high density, the density would be considered more moderate because they resemble more of a single-family home than they do in an apartment.
And this is open to everyone.
Yes.
And these are for sale.
Yes.
Okay. And how many units again did you say?
28 units.
I have no more questions, Madam Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Any further comments?
Yes, similar to with the previous developer, if it gets approved tonight, when are they looking, they're already constructing on it, correct? Are they, I see some work out there, I think that's their property.
I think they're preparing the site, but
Okay.
they don't have the permits. They've already submitted in anticipation. We asked them to submit the design plan, so we're reviewing those actively right now. They want to build right away.
The, I guess, similar to the question before, if this would get approved and you approve the design plans, how soon will these units be available for sale?
I'll let him speak to this.
And of course, when they would be available for occupancy?
Yes. I'll acquiesce to him.
Good evening. My name is Agustin Paz. I'm a local developer. Basically, we already did all the submittals with the Department of Real Estate. We already formed the homeowner association. We're just waiting for a process to get what they call the pink slip to start open escrows. But the piece of property is already subdivided in 20 individual sites. And we already have all the legal descriptions and everything to start open escrows as soon as we get the approval from the Department of Real Estate.
How soon do you think that'll happen before you can start selling the units?
I would say that it'll be a matter of weeks to get the approval.
Construction time is how much time?
We're gonna try to start building beginning of the year.
Okay.
At the latest.
So maybe by summer?
By
They'll be
summer,
available?
that'll be all completed. We have a park inside of the property. We also gonna have a pool, and that'll be affordable. That's the whole reason why we planned the project the way it is. Each of the units will have an access to the backyard. They have also garages. So they basically just like a regular house, except they share one wall.
Being that they're high density, can you share what you think the price ranges will be for these units?
What do you say again?
The price ranges, el valor, el
The
costo.
sale price.
We actually were kind of hold because we didn't get the feedback on the school fees, but now we have it, just have it today and actually I'm bidding everything right now as we speak. I bid into the trusses, lumber, windows, and all that. Probably have the final price within 2 weeks. And
I'm just wondering, maybe you can bring in the future, bring this thing back forward so the public can know what you have out there and make like a presentation of some sort.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Okay, if there are no further comments, then I'd like to open the public hearing at 8:10. If there anyone out there that'd like to make any comments in favor of the project? Mai? Mai Randall.
Good evening again, Mai Randall, Calexico Unified School District. Just for clarification, the district would just like to, for the record, note that the fees, for the level 2 fees of $4.87 per square foot. And also just the district would just like to say that they appreciate the relationship between the city and their ability to ensure that the district receives their developer fees. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mai. We appreciate the relationship with the school district as well. Anyone else that'd like to provide any comments in favor? Anyone opposed to the project, if you'd like to come up and have your word? Okay, being that there are no further comments, go ahead and close the public section at 8:11. And I understand that we're going to have some resolutions that we have to then approve one by one.
Yes.
City Attorney, Mayor Pro Tem, if I may. Mr. Servin, I noticed that on this project and the prior project, there was a 4-0 vote. Where's the 5th? Is somebody missing?
Somebody was absent.
Somebody was absent? You know that?
For the planning commission?
Right.
Yeah. My planning commissioner appointing was absent.
Mr. Eduardo Lopez, oh, Mr. Says, guilty as
It was
charged.
during the
Okay.
hot weather, right?
All right, then, noted. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, the
Yes.
first resolution
I'm sorry
would be
about
a resolution approving negative declaration 2012-01. If council wants to entertain a motion to that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by
Just
Mr.
when I was tranquilo.
Moreno, second by Mr. Romero. Please vote.
Nadie respondió.
Okay, thank you.
Where's Mr. Usan?
Next.
Okay.
The second item would be a motion to conduct the first reading and introduction of an ordinance of the City of Calexico, California, approving a zone change from RA residential apartment to PUD planned unit development for approximately 2.07 acres of land located on the southeast corner of Cole Boulevard and Clinton Avenue, further described as APN 058-455-001.
So moved. So moved.
Jesus.
First by Mr. Moreno, second by Mr. Hodge. Please vote. I think we want to go home.
Hello. That was Morse code.
Okay, thank you very much.
And that motion also include waiving full reading of the entire ordinance. The next one would be to adopt the resolution approving the conditional use permit for the project.
So moved.
Second.
First by Mr. Hodge, second by Mr. Moreno. Please vote. Thank you.
And the last one would be adopt a resolution approving the tentative subdivision map for the project.
So moved.
Second.
First by Mr. Moreno, second by Mr. Romero. Please vote.
Chelsea, can you ask Mr. Usan to step in here for a moment? I'm just messing.
He'll watch the video later. Okay, thank you very much. We're done with that, right?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, moving on now to the next item on the agenda is informational items. Item number 11 is letter from finance on
Suerte.
audit report for fiscal year 2010-2011. Mr. City Manager?
Yes, Mr. City Manager, I'm really curious with your comments on this one.
Well, I go through the whole briefing again, huh?
Since your finance director is not present here, I guess we get it.
I will pinch hit for the finance director. He was in Sacramento today, and since I couldn't make it to Sacramento, I sent him. We had an appeal before the Department of Finance in reference to our redevelopment funding that the state wants to take away from us. So we had an appeal before them today at 11 o'clock at the Capitol, and we hope to hear a decision from them within the next 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 weeks, as to what that decision will be, which will impact this community. In reference to the letter, this is a letter that talks about our audit for 2010-2011, And unfortunately, it's a rejection letter of our single audit report. And what that basically says, and it's sent to the auditor control, I'm sorry, to our auditors, is that there are certain technicalities that weren't met when the report was submitted and reviewed by the state. There's some attachments on there. There's 3 findings that they talk about. We don't believe that they're major findings. There is no substantial non-compliance, material non-compliance, which is the things that we look for in any audit. There are technicalities which were not met, such as, for one, there is a finding that did not include the views of responsible officials and planned corrective actions, and therefore there was no response to a particular finding.
Mr. City Manager,
yes.
Who is negligent on those technicalities?
The auditors are the ones that are responsible for providing the test. And so when you have findings, they're supposed to provide a response from the applicant, being the city. These particular findings, I don't foresee as substantial findings. We have 30 days from the date of this letter to respond. We have responded. The auditors have responded. It's their responsibility to respond. And we would hope to get a letter of clearance here in the next couple of weeks after the State Controller's Office reviews it. The auditors, as a group of specific auditors, are also challenging the state in reference to some of these findings that they've made, and they are setting up a meeting with the State Controller's Office to review some of these issues so that hopefully this year these issues don't come up. You know, they're technicalities the way I see them. There is nothing in here that I see that is a substantial, if they were to have had a finding of noncompliance of material matters, then that would be an issue. If you read the documentation in the findings section on what they're looking at, they're talking about non-response to comments on a particular finding. And so that's a technical finding that there was no response for that finding. The response could have been as simple as no response. But they're required to follow certain requirements in reviewing the single audit. So we don't foresee that that will happen again. We expect to get a letter of clearance here in the near future, and the auditors themselves, who will continue to be our auditors this year, are going to address that with the State Controller's Office.
Thank you. Is there any questions?
Mr. City Manager, do you feel confident that, putting aside their technicalities, their negligence, or their mistakes, if I call it that the city is solid as far as things are in order in the finance department, that if they were to come, we would be above board and we would be able to sail out of here with flying colors?
Well, we feel comfortable that our financials would pass, and the audit itself for this year, and we believe for the coming year, which there has been a commitment that the audit would be done by December 31st, and we're certainly moving towards that. It's a tight time schedule, but I believe we have a very good shot of making it this year. We believe that the findings, and like any audit, you're always going to have some findings. I will challenge anybody to give me an audit where you have no findings whatsoever. I mean, auditors are paid to find something, and they're going to find something. But the question is, are these findings material or not? And in our audit that we submitted for this particular year, 2010-2011, they did not have any material findings.
Mr. Moreno, do you have any questions?
No.
Mr. Castro?
No.
Mr. Mayor?
Mr. City Manager, I'm sure that when you receive the approval of the audit, you'll bring it back to council.
We definitely will.
I'll
we will share it with the public in general.
Okay, therefore, if there are no other questions, we acknowledge receipt then of the letter from Finance on the audit report. Next informational item is item number 12, acknowledge receipt of business license delinquent list as of November 6, 2012. Do you have any questions?
Acknowledge receipt.
Okay, I'll acknowledge receipt. We're coming down to the almost end of this meeting. Next item is future agenda items. So we'll start with Mr. Hodge. future agenda items.
Yes, and once I'm through speaking, City Attorney, I'd like for you to comment whether I'm on the right track or it's possible to do this. For future agenda items, I preference by saying that I'm not happy, even though I had voted at the time yes, with the prior vote on entering into a sub-recipient agreement with the Imperial Valley Small Business Development Center to provide technical assistance to the micro enterprise business. I'm not happy because I believe, based on a concerned citizen that brought forth some information and research, a handbook for the CDBG subrecipients on administrative system, I believe the city staff did not follow proper requirements or due process on procurement and contracting. At that time, when this was presented, the City Council was given or informed on only one option, and that was to approve the subrecipient agreement with the Southwestern Community College. The neighborhood house was never mentioned as a viable alternative. Their services, as stated in the past, and their arguments were that their services were relatively the same and they had provided it free. And the Southwestern Community College virtually, well, their cost was going to be a little over $120,000. I'm not against them. I might even end up voting for them at the end. But the problem was, furthermore, there was no transparency on the requirements for using these federal funds for CDBG subrecipients. Requirements state that there should be follow a free and open competitive process in securing those products or services, use local businesses and contract with small, minority, or women-owned businesses to the maximum extent feasible. In other words, we should look at these areas first and set it as a priority. So based on those arguments and what's in this handbook, I want to revisit this item, place it on the next agenda, and maybe move forward with, as stated, a free and open competitive process. There's talk that the neighborhood house could join hands with the Chamber of Commerce, their local businesses, their local entities here, and rightfully they should be paid part of this grant, but maybe it can be a better deal for the city. So if that's possible, I know we voted yes on it. Now the other thing is, it did say in their contract, this agreement may also, with Southwestern, I have it here, this agreement may be terminated for convenience by either the grantee or the subrecipient in whole or in part by setting forth the reasons for such termination. So if I read that right, we can terminate that and revisit. I don't know. Your insight, City Attorney?
The city manager informed me that the agreement has been executed, so we would have to investigate the process to terminate and have that before the council, if that's what the council would like to discuss.
Yeah, I believe that that would probably also be a question to the council, if they would be willing to bring that back. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's what you're asking at this
That's what
time?
I'm asking.
Is
Again, because what it states in the home, free and open competitive.
right. So as far as a future agenda item, I believe that the council would have to agree with you to want to bring that back. Is that correct, Ms. Lyons?
Or could it be put on the agenda for discussion and possibly?
Yeah, I need to look at the agreement and look at how this is set up.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Hodge?
That's it? Oh, no, sorry, one more. For the next agenda, I'd like to put on the agenda possibly waiving the community center fee for the upcoming senior Christmas dance that would be held on December 14th.
Right.
I believe we did that last time. I'd like to put it on and do that again for them. So.
That would probably have to be on there for the 4th.
4th.
Mr. Hodge, that's for a senior citizen program. Maybe entertain for Measure H to consider it?
The only problem with that is that it might be a little late.
Oscar has historically, Mr. City Manager has previous history of, trying to set up these urgent meetings. I'm sure he can put something together.
If you'd like to go to them, we could approve it contingent upon Measure H taking action. In other words, we wouldn't make them pay it up front. They'd go to Measure H. If Measure H was to turn them down, then it'd come back to the council. In either case, it'll come back to the council because Measure H would only make a recommendation.
So not charge them at the beginning.
So we would just not charge them, hold that in abeyance,
So
if that's your desire.
Again, remember, this one, the Director Toller's department would be impacted.
That is correct.
Okay.
What is the fee?
That I don't know, 600 and some odd, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Moreno.
I'd just like for the next agenda, next future agenda item, to look at what either our ad hoc committee or our border committee has done in looking at ways to reducing wait times at the border. As you know, the border crossings during the month of December are just very lengthy. And I just want to know if there was any ideas or any remedies for this situation. 2-hour waits, 2.5-hour waits, pedestrian and vehicular, to see what we can come up with, perhaps some ideas. I know that the Eastport is underutilized in certain areas, specifically the pedestrian lane. And I know we do have a lot of shoppers that walk across. So I'd like to explore ideas to perhaps maybe to reduce wait times, if there's anything been done.
So you'd like the chairman of the ad hoc committee to come in and give us a presentation on what's been done.
Right.
And when you say next meeting, I'm assuming you're talking about the 18th, not the 4th.
Well, I know it's kind of late, but yeah.
Only because we are looking to do the reorg on the 4th.
Right, we're doing the reorg, but if we can do something, better than nothing.
Right, but are you looking for the 4th or the 18th?
Let's try for the 18th.
Okay.
Just to remind you, Mr. Romero and I, the mayor and I are on the subcommittee, on
Or
a
get some
subcommittee.
ideas from the subcommittee,
But we
please.
could invite Mr. Hargrave, who is the chair for the ad hoc committee.
Because I think it's critical that we reduce wait times with ideas that we have that come up with.
And we can assure you that all avenues have been
Addressed. Okay.
And they're continued address, not only, more importantly, not amongst ourselves, but with CBP.
Okay.
Is that all?
Thank you, Mayor Romero.
Thank you,
Welcome, Mr. Moreno.
Thank you, Councilman Moreno. Councilman Castro.
Yes, I would like to look for a date or from any date on the week to have some recreation for the seniors, for what they call, or we call Noche Bohemia, to any of the senior clubs. I would like to start working for any day that the director, Sandra Tallers, can give us the opportunity to let the seniors and clubs to, without charge, any start looking for Sunday on this kind of event like Noche Bohemia. Like we used to have the gun club in Calexico, and we need to look for any day from any particular week. So my concern is we need to look for more recreation especially for this kind of clubs.
So as an agenda item, you want to have a discussion about options, recreational options for?
Exactly, some option that the recreation department or the director of the recreation department look for one day every week for this kind of events for the seniors.
movies that they have for the...
Councilman.
¿Qué es Noche Bohemia?
Well,
Explain Noche Buena.
No, Bohemia.
no,
Could you
Noche
explain-
Bohemia, like
What is that?
we used to have at the gun club with the Noche Bohemia. Well, there's some people, they like to hear music or play music, or they like to dance, all kind of events for the seniors.
So what you're asking is an agenda item so that Ms. Toller can come to provide us a presentation of what's available and have that discussion.
Which day is available for this kind of events?
Okay.
That's my concern in my future agenda item for.
Noche Buena.
So do you want her on the agenda, or do you want to set up a meeting for somebody to talk to her about trying to set something up and bring an item to council for action?
Well, the thing is, either we can talk to you directly, or we can talk to the director of
Right,
recreation departments. I don't care who.
Right, no, I'm
we
just
need
trying to
talk.
find out if we're looking to set up a date with the director to try to talk about what we can do, so we can formulate something and then bring it to council for action.
Exactly.
Okay.
You got it. Thank you.
So you'll initiate that. Okay, Mayor Romero.
Yes, for a future agenda item for December 2014. I have nothing.
And didn't I tell you we were going to finish by 8:30?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I
It's
did.
8:31.
I didn't hear it.
I have no future agenda items, and I believe that this meeting is adjourned.